So let's get started with the business model canvas. Let's look at 6 ground rules. But before that, let's start with some basics. So the business model canvas is a visual business tool that allows you to sketch out how you create, deliver, and capture value. Now you can do that on paper, on posters with sticky notes, or you could use digital tools like Strategizer or simply PowerPoint, and that will allow you to do a certain number of things that you can't do on paper. But they're both complementary. Keep that in mind, complementary. Now, you can use the business model canvas to sketch out existing business models if you want to improve them, or you can use the business model canvas to invent new business models that you want to invent. But the tool basically applies to both, so you can work on the whole spectrum from improve to invent. Now, in terms of time it takes to sketch out a business model canvas, that obviously varies. For existing business models, it can take you anywhere from 10 minutes if you do it by yourself, up to half a day or more if you work with a management team. And for new business models, well, you want to keep your first prototypes to very short time, 5 minutes to sketch them out briefly, or 30 minutes. And then later on, when you know if something could really work, you can add more detail and go into more granularity. So let's start with the ground rules. Rule number 1, avoid writing directly on a canvas. Use sticky notes. Sticky notes will allow you to have a very tangible conversation, a strategic conversation, by sketching out every building block on your business model canvas. And remember, there's no risk in doing this because you can move things around. This is not cast in stone. And when you put one up that you think shouldn't be there, you can take it away. So rule number 2 relates to that. Don't get stuck with blah, blah, blah. One of the things we see a lot is that people stand in front of a business model canvas and they start talking about one building block that they could sketch out, another one, or what they actually should do here to sketch out their entire business model. What you really want to do is just get started. Put up the sticky notes. Now, why do you want to get started? Because you want to have a tangible, visible, concrete conversation. And there's no risk. You can move a sticky note around, or if you think something shouldn't be there and the conversation shows that, you can always take it away again. There's no risk. Rule number 3, start with any building block. Just get started, right? You could start with an easy one like customer segments or with a value proposition. And if you sketch out a new business model, same thing. It doesn't have to start with customer segments or the value proposition. You could start with key partners, for example, if you want to build a new business model together with a key partner. Remember Nike and Apple with the iPod, right? Perfect fit. A partnership that allows them to create a business model together. Or if you have a patent, you might want to start with key resources and to build a business model around that. Or what very often happens is that we have to change the cost structure, reduce the costs. Start there. Or maybe you have a great channel reaching a lot of customers, but you don't know exactly what you could do, what else you could do around that. Start there and sketch out the rest of the business model. Or if you want to create new revenue streams, start there. Just get started. Rule number 4, never use bullet points. And I mean never. Why? Because if you use bullet points on one sticky note, you can't move things around. You can't use the business model canvas as a strategic playground. What you really want to do is you want to put each element as a separate sticky note so you can move them around, so you can play. Remember, this is now your strategic playground. That's the way to do it. Rule number 5, avoid too much detail. One of the things that we see a lot is that people write a lot of stuff on sticky notes. Don't do that because your brain can't process that. If you have 20 sticky notes on a canvas, you won't be able to see the big picture. The right way to do it is to write as little as possible on a sticky note. So use the thickest marker you can find in the room and only use large caps. That way you won't put a lot of information on your business model canvas on the stickies, and you'll always be able to process the big picture. Even better is if you use visual thinking. Sketch out stuff on a sticky note, make it clear, of course, because your brain processes images faster than words. And the best way to do it is if you use images and words so it's crystal clear what you're talking about, and your brain can still process this very quickly, and you can look at the big picture of an entire business model. So that's the way to do it. Now, when it comes to granularity, a lot of people get started, they get excited about the business model canvas, and they put everything there that comes to mind, and that's the right way to do it when you start. But look at this picture. Once there's too much there, you can't understand what the essence is of this business model. So what you really want to do is, after having all those things up there, synthesize it, take away those elements that don't show much about the big picture, reorganize it so you really have a story, the story of your business model, the big picture of what you're doing with your business. Rule number 6. Be precise for every building block, but remember, without writing too much on a sticky note. So let's take the example of Google. Well, everybody knows they earn most money from advertising. But we want to be more precise here. We might not just want to say advertising, but we want to say how they really earn money by auctioning off search terms. That's still one of the most profitable ways for Google to earn money, and that's not simply advertising, that's something very concrete that made them very, very wealthy. So that's the way to do it. Summary. We had 6 ground rules. Number 1, use sticky notes on the canvas. Number 2, just get started, avoid blah, blah, blah. Number 3, you can start anywhere on the business model canvas. Number 4, never use bullet points. Number 5, avoid too much detail so you can see the big picture. And number 6, be precise without using too many words. Now, let's get started.